Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's Spotify video. Going to have a look at weather for the next 10 to 14 days. For today's final video, day 10 will take us to the 2nd of January. And we'll be able to extend beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. May run around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFSV2 at the end of the video for January itself. And I should get on with that for you in a moment. We're going to have lots on the stratosphere as well in the first part of the video. I'll get on with that for you in a moment. Just say about the first video thing was the 6 AM upload. And we've also released January Friday as well. Check out those two videos if you'd like to do that. At the end of this video, I'll tell you what's coming up over Christmas. Wow, before Christmas schedule shall be revealed. GavsWeatherVids at the end of the video. I'm going to reveal all. Shut your eyes. Everybody. It's the year of Christmas, so a little bit giddy as we are counting things down to Christmas. I'm having a lovely Christmas Eve. I've just had my shopping delivered by the lovely Charlie. Charlie from Ocado has delivered my shopping, so it's down there. And when I get the video done, I'm going to put it all away and whatnot. But then I can sit back on the old sage long and enjoy myself. Anyway, I'm off on a tangent. I'm so sorry, buddy. Happy Eve of Christmas Eve. Now, I've got to say thank you so much to Paul Spain for giving a donation to GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much, Paul, for your donation. Unbelievable, amazing. We've had loads of donations recently, so thank you so much to everybody who has donated to me and also to the channel. If you would like to give a donation to GavsWeatherVids through PayPal, all you need to do is come to the GavsWeatherVids PayPal page, and you can find a link to that in the description of the video. So come here, sign into your PayPal account, log in. There it is, log in, and you can give whatever donation you want. You'll get a shout out in the videos. We thank you so much, everybody. But then that, you can also become a channel member for GavsWeatherVids. You can give donations, super live streams as well, super chats, and there are loads of different ways that you can help to fund the channel. So thank you so much to each and every one of you for doing this for us. Right, well, we'll start the video then. We're going to begin in the stratosphere, I think. So, temperatures at 10 HPA are currently looking rather cold, actually. This remember GMA, so the grey line is like the trend for time of year. The black line shows where we've been and where we are with those temperatures at 10 HPA. So you can see that we're actually colder than average at the moment. We're around -80. And at this point, we should be around -70. So around 10 degrees colder than average at 10 HPA in the stratosphere. Go a bit low down to 30 HPA, very close to the troposphere. We're also colder than average there with the temperature around -80. And should be around -75, something like that. So, interesting, isn't it, that both 10 and 30 HPA temperatures are colder than average. Excuse me, everybody. This was normally associated with a strengthening of the stratospheric polar vortex, a powering up of the stratospheric polar vortex. And we have, through the first part of December, had a decoupling of the stratosphere and the troposphere. That's how I managed to get the blocking in the troposphere against the cold first half of December. We are possibly now seeing the stratosphere and the troposphere coupling back together. And that's possibly one of the reasons why we're going into a milder and more active phase of Atlantic-driven weather. Also, of course, you can't discount what's going on in America. We're having a record-breaking freeze, and that's helping to power up the jet stream as well, I think. Anyway, let's have a look at the latest GFS temperature forecast for 10 HPA over the Arctic and the North Pole. So where we've got these blue and purple colours, these are those very cold temperatures at 10 HPA right now over the North Pole. You see I've got some warming going on either side of the pole, over North America and over Siberia. But over the Arctic and the pole itself, we have got a very cold stratospheric temperature right now. Now, run through the Christmas period and we keep those cold temperatures going. Those blues and purples sit there over the Arctic and the North Pole through the next week or so. So temperatures will continue to hover around minus 80, possibly even under minus 80 at 10 HPA in the stratosphere. No sign of any warming of the stratosphere up to New Year's Eve. Let's run out beyond that into the extended. And this is how things are looking. So the cold temperatures continue there right into early January. We do start getting quite a significant warming of the stratosphere over Siberia by the 6th, 7th of January. So we've got the temperature to minus 20 over Siberia. That is short of a southern stratospheric warming. It's not reaching the sort of level that you would need to get to say that's southern stratospheric warming. It is quite a significant warming of the stratosphere that's going on over Siberia there. That's how we look when we get to the 8th of January, as far as we can go to with the GFS, is to the 8th of January. And that relatively significant warming is continuing over Siberia, but not having much impact on the Arctic and on the North Pole. The stratospheric temperatures there remain very cold, although perhaps lifting up over the North Pole itself, possibly lifting towards minus 16, something like that. But this is not enough to change the to change the pattern. This is not enough to get rid of the polar vortex and bring blocking and whatnot up to this point anyway. But it's quite a significant warning strategy. You have to keep an eye on that, see where it's going, especially around the 7th of January, just there. So if the GFS starts developing that into something more significant, then obviously we will keep you posted at GavsWeatherVids. We will keep posted on that. This is the zone of wind forecast from the ECM WF model for 10 HPA for the next 6 weeks. So zone of winds is a way of depicting the strength of the stratospheric polar vortex, essentially. The stratospheric polar vortex is a way of telling you how strong the overall PV is at its roots in the stratosphere. You see, we're actually going to have a record-breaking strong zone of wind just after Christmas. So at the moment, we're around here, a little bit stronger than average with the zone of wind, but it is going to strengthen through the Christmas week and actually reach a record-breakingly strong level. It's going to go above this red line, which I think is like the record, so you're going to go to a very, very strong level with the zone of wind just before the new year. There is a weakening of the zone of wind back close to average for us to go through the first week, 10 days of January. And then just generally saying rather stronger than average, although there is a lot of scatter appearing. Now, we're going to talk about this scatter. We have got some very strong ECM ensemble members here with the zone wind really powering them up into a very strong level for the second half of January. However, we have got several now ensemble members within the ECM plume that actually go for a reversal or a dramatic weakening and sometimes a reversal of zone winds through the second half of January. At the moment, they're outliers, but if we trace this back, let's go back to the 8th of December, shall we? So then most of the ECM plume members were up here, just the odd one that was going for like a weakening to the zone into the second half of January. 12th of December, perhaps see a few more ensemble plume members that are weakening things off, but only one going for a reversal of zone winds into second half of January. 15th of December, maybe we see a few more that are going for a weakening of zone of winds down here. A couple that are going for a reversal of zone of winds. So you see where this is going. 19th of December, we've got a few more that are going for a weakening of zone of winds or a reversal. And then the latest update for the 22nd of December, we have even more ensemble plume members that are weakening the zone of winds in the second half of January and or going for a reversal of zone of winds. A reversal of zone of winds would be via a sudden stratospheric warming. So at the moment, there is a small chance in the second half of January we might get sudden stratospheric warming and a reversal of zone of winds. There is equally a small chance that we might really power up the zone of winds. The greatest likelihood is that we keep the zone of winds stronger than average. But the trend, I think, within the ECM ensemble plume is possibly for more ensemble members with each update to be going for a reversal of zonal winds as we get into the second half of January. So that's a slow burner, but it's one to watch. We'll keep an eye on that, see whether this trend is maintained and whether we start finding more and more members of the ECM ensemble plume going for a weakening and or reversal of zonal winds, almost certainly via southern stratospheric warming for the second half of January. Remember, we are expecting a southern stratospheric warming this winter due to the fact we started off with a very strong Siberian high. The strength of the Siberian high should result in planetary waves. Those planetary waves should help to bring us a southern stratospheric warming at some point this winter. When that happens, we can't say, but possibly the ECM ensembles are playing with an increasing chance, still at low chance, of a major warming of the stratosphere in the second half of January. So that, I think, is going to be one to watch as we get into the new year. Certainly not going to be any southern stratospheric warming up to New Year or early January. So this is a slow burner, and it's just one to watch for the time being. Right, that's brought you up to date with everything stratosphere-wise. Now, let's have a look at centering temperature. CET is about to come out of the ones. So, we're currently standing at 1.9, which is 2.7 degrees below average. Still very cold anomaly, that. But we are about to lift it out of ones and go into the twos, I think. That is provisional to the 22nd of December. I'm anticipating we'll finish up somewhere in the threes, I would have thought. Low threes by the end of the month, but we shall see about that. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles next couple of weeks. So red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for Bristol, starting off around to a little bit above average at the moment. I can get a slight cold snap around Boxing Day. That doesn't last long. It goes milder again into the 27th, but another sort of mini cold snap sometime around the 29th to the 30th of December. After that, the GFS ensembles really lifting up in the first week of January. Looks like the first week of January could be very mild, maybe even exceptionally mild. You'll notice the thick green line, which is the operational GFS run, becomes really exceptionally mild for a while through the opening days of January. Possibly a little bit of a drop down later on, but it does also that first week of January could be shaping up to be very, very mild indeed. And precipitation-wise, going to be regular rainfall, so we've got a deluge going on today, more wet weather just after Christmas, around Christmas, just after Christmas, and further wet weather really right way up towards the New Year. Snow row for Bristol looks like that, pretty grim over the next couple of weeks, just that one sort of lowly outlier snow spike just there, otherwise not much doing. What's happening in London, that's not really much better. How about Coventry? So Coventry up in the Midlands, not quite as grim. One or two slight spikes there on Boxing Day, actually, from some wintry showers maybe. And then around sort of New Year's Eve, we've got a couple of spikes, but they are outliers. Looks pretty grim for snow, I have to say, over the next couple of weeks for lowland and southern England. I don't think there's going to be much about. And that, because most of the time, it's going to be too mild. So temperature anomalies from the 23rd to the 31st of December are coming out milder than average in most parts of the country, especially for England and Wales. We're not alone. Most of Europe, away from Norway and central northern parts of Sweden, most of Europe actually looking really mild in the week ahead. And precipitation anomalies from the 23rd to the 31st of December, they're looking wetter than normal. The latest wind flow map from earthnullschool.net shows that we are bringing some cold air from the east today, actually, across Scotland. So you'll notice wind is back in from the east again in the northern half of the country, ahead of low pressure in the Atlantic and a weather front that's through here. Behind that front, we're drawing up southwesterly winds. And these southwesterly winds are going to be pushing through the country for Christmas Eve into Christmas Day, but then from Christmas Day to Boxing Day, when we'll go back into the northwest again. And that brings us nicely to the latest UK Met Euro run, which for midnight on Boxing Day shows some cold air beginning to push back into the northwest. So showers possibly turning wintry in northern and western parts of Scotland on Boxing Day. By the 27th, winds back into west again, though, as more wet and windy weather piles in from off the Atlantic. And then we're into a prolonged run of westerly winds between Christmas and the New Year. By the time we get through to the end of next week, which is Friday the 30th of December, we have got a southerly tracking area of low pressure. Needs to be kept an eye on. I talked about this in yesterday's video. There is a potential, if this low tracks in across the south of the country, that we might get a little bit slow on the northern edge. That would be through northern England, potentially. But I think more concerning going to be both heavy rain with that and potentially, perhaps most damaging of all, the risk of some severe gales across more southern parts of the country. It's just one to watch at the moment, but I'd be surprised if, let's say around 29th to the 3rd of December, we might get a named storm. So, if we do, you heard it here first. Icon, looks like that again. We're into those cool northwest winds, quite cold northwest winds for Boxing Day, shower turning wintering in the north. Back to milder west-southwest winds for the middle part of next week with outbreaks of rain. And then, excuse me, once more, into the end of next week. Again, we've got like a southerly tracking low. It's nowhere near deep though, but there it is, around there, that kink in the isobars. That might develop into a significant area of low pressure. It's a bit colder in the north as well by the 30th of December. Shall probably turn wintry again in the northern half of the country. The GFS midnight run, again quite cold with those northwest winds on Boxing Day, bringing wintry showers to the north, then milder, wetter and windier with west-southwesterly winds through the middle part of next week. Quite a deep low there pushing through the country on Thursday, and then we've got this southerly tracking area of low pressure here on Friday. That could bring some very wet weather in across England and Wales, maybe some severe gales. Gales, I should say. Voices giving up on southern or through southern counties. All the way up to day 10 stays unsettled, but by day 10, which is the 2nd of January, we started drawing some very mild air from the southwest, and that carries on through the first week of January. Got long fetched southwest winds, still bringing rain, but very mild temperatures with that as well. Eventually, perhaps start pulling something a little bit colder from the north by the 8th of January. Of course, we are a very, very long way out there, however. Remember GFS 6Z, once again with those wintry showers in the north on Boxing Day, milder, wetter for Tuesday and Wednesday next week, then a bit cooler through the second half of next week with further low pressure bringing outbreaks of rain, proper old Atlantic onslaught type pattern. This getting towards the new year, and high pressure builds then through Germany, France, around northern Italy and the Alps. That starts to drag up an exceptionally mild southwesterly wind, and so the first week of January looks really, really mild here. Rain in the north, probably mostly dried down in the south. Eventually we start to flatten off that ridge. We bring this low through, which could bring more rain, and possibly something a little bit colder from the north again by the 8th of January. But that first week of January is looking exceptionally mild there on the GFS6Z. If you enjoyed this video, then please you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Christmas is coming. Right, GM. Again, we've got cooler northwesterly winds on Monday, Boxing Day, and then we go milder and wetter through the middle part of next week before we're back into those cooler west-northwesterly winds at the end of next week. All the way up to day 10, we keep it unsettled, and for the south we start to drag up this exceptionally mild push, but southwesterly winds from the Azores and the Canary Islands by the 2nd of January. And then the ECM WF, once more, we're looking quite cold and showery on Boxing Day. We're back into milder, wetter and windier weather for Tuesday and Wednesday. We go cooler through the second half next week, and then into the New Year period, again, dragging up those exceptionally mild southwest winds with low pressure bringing further spells of rain. The precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Precipitation.com looks like this. Some of the rain turned to snow across Scotland tonight, especially over high ground, maybe a few flakes coming down to lower levels though. And then into the end of Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, showers pushing in from the west. They converge into longer spells of rain. A little bit of a deluge for more southern counties by the end of Christmas Day. Some heavy rain setting in there. That develops widely across England and Wales on Christmas night, so a wet old Christmas night. Once that gets out of the way, we open the door to those colder northwesterly showers turning wintry in northern western parts of the country, and then more wet weather piling in from the Atlantic on Tuesday. That is with milder temperatures as well, so lots of heavy rain Tuesday and Wednesday. Then back to wintry showers Thursday and Friday before the next deluge pushes in by the end of Friday, so that turns to snow up in the north, and it just keeps on coming. A very wet pattern all the way up to day 10. We've got some really heavy rain setting there across northern Wales, southwestern by day 10. A deluge. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. Gets us to the 2nd of January from the Icelandic Meteorology. 23 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure over top of potential to our west I should say. High pressures to our south, winds coming up from our southwest direction. That's going to be very, very mild 20. Including the controlling the operational run again. Low pressure to west northwest, high pressure to the south and southeast. We draw in very mild southwest winds again with that, and then 8, just a little bit flatter, but still unsettled, low pressure, and perhaps more of a westerly as opposed to a southwesterly, but all options looking mild there and unsettled for the new year. In 2 weeks' time, this is the option that we've got. It gets us to the 7th of January. 51 out of 51 members of the ECM ensembles, all of them, have high pressure taking over to our south as low pressure is pushed away into the Atlantic. So turning drier, that's one saving grace, but will be exceptionally mild again with winds coming up from the southwest. So dry and very mild there, probably even a taste of spring. Lastly, the CFS-V2. So this is the 700 millibar hydrogen anomaly for January. Flat as a pancake, low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, and winds coming in from a mild or a very mild westerly direction. It is therefore going for a very mild January, not just for us, most parts of Europe and all parts of North America on fire in January, and the precipitation anomaly is no better than average. However, there probably isn't much of a signal. And we know, if you enjoyed the video, then please you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell your friends and family about GavsWeatherVids. And we thank you so very much, everybody, for doing that for us. Thanks so much. Right, just to tell you, coming up tomorrow, Christmas Eve, going to have 6 a.m. Actually, I'll give you the full rundown for Christmas. So here we go. This is a full rundown for GavsWeatherVids for Christmas 2022. So tomorrow, Christmas Eve, we'll have a 6 a.m. upload. We will have the ECM WM 42 day / 6 weeks look at along with the weekend forecast. Probably no 10 to 14 dayer tomorrow. We will be live streaming around 10:40, something like that, into the opening minutes of Christmas Day. So it's going to be lovely, it's going to be chill, you know, it's going to be very, very wholesome. Nice late Christmas Eve live streams. If you're around the channel late on Christmas Eve, then check in. On Christmas Day, we'll start with 6 a.m. upload. We will have our historic video, which is going to be looking at all February 2nd data. It's the third and final part of the trilogy. So Christmas Day 2020, we looked at all Christmas days. Christmas Day 2021, we looked at all New Year. And so this year, the third and final part of the trilogy, looking at all February 2nd data. And so that is this year's Christmas Day historic video. On Boxing Day, there won't be a 6 a.m. upload. However, there will be a 10 to 14 dayer later on in the day. And that will be nice to do that for you on Boxing Day. So that is the plan for Christmas at GavsWeatherVids. I hope it sounds all right with everyone. I shall see you tomorrow, either for our uploads or maybe for our late Christmas Eve live stream. But for this video, that's all for now. and thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.